The embodied mind shapes both how and what we experience, think, imagine, reason, and communicate. The mind incorporates the brain, the body, and the individual's environment into one living system. The mind is not stuck in our brains while the body remains inactive. The body is always engaged through the senses and the nervous system. The mind is in constant communication and interaction with the brain, the body, and the environment through the sensory and motor processes, perception, and action. The approach for this project looks at how an embodied mind informs reality through the dual lens of science and philosophy using the disciplines of cognitive science and phenomenology. The enactive approach views the body as a self-producing and self-maintaining system that brings forth relevance in cognitive processes. Where does reality tie into all of this? Reality is constructed in embodiment. Our experiences enact how we perceive the world. Reality is not static. There is an objective reality, however. It is unlikely that Earth's inhabitants can see it that way, even if they wanted to. It will always be skewed by perceptions, motivations, and representations. Cognitive science has 3 important findings that are relevant to embodiment. The mind is inherently embodied, thought is mostly unconscious, and abstract concepts are largely metaphorical. According to cognitive science, the mind is a collection of constantly changing emergent processes that arise within a complex system comprising of the brain, the rest of the body, and the physical and social environment. The environment is the personal environment of an individual made up of whatever degree of complexity that is knowable at the time. It could include physical and social environments. Phenomenology is the non-dualistic philosophical study of consciousness as viewed from experience. Maurice Merleau-Ponty's view of phenomenology includes a connection to the body and the environment. The post-World War II French philosopher insisted that we are embodied creatures caught up in a world that is full of meaning and language. He famously wrote, "The world is inseparable from the subject, but from a subject which is nothing but a project of the world. And the subject is inseparable from the world, but from a world which the subject itself projects." Simply put, everything is connected. Scientific knowledge is an expression of the relation between our embodied cognition and the world that it purports to know. It does not exhibit the nature of reality. Phenomenological insight tells us that everything perceived, believed, theorized, researched, and known is done so by an observer. Accordingly, if that observer is enveloped in the world, it cannot be truly objective. We cannot remove ourselves from our experience to see it any other way. We cannot experience things objectively. We filter our reality through representations. A recent neuroscience study discovered that there is no difference in the brain between experiences in reality and imagined experiences. This has far-reaching implications for the power of thought. Changing our perception about the connections between mind, body, and environment may open up great possibilities. We have one body, one mind. There is nothing separate about the two. They are interconnected. The mind is not stuck in our heads. It is throughout the body and beyond. Humans are complex organisms who have gained consciousness over millions of years of evolution. While all this seems to be true, it could also be something entirely different that no one has yet imagined.